Good. Okay. Today we're going to be discussing growing a profitable email list from ground zero, of course, presented by Marcia Hudson. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Brett Augustine. I'm a recovery business advisor for North Central Texas Small Business Development Center, leading provider in assistance for all small businesses. And of course, we're grant funded, which allows us to offer this and many other services at no cost to you. We're happy that all of you could attend this morning. A couple of things just to remember. We're going to be taking questions in the chat room. So if you will, please go, excuse me, open your chat and leave your questions there. We'll be answering them at the end. And with that, I don't think there's anything else. One moment. Sorry about that. My throat this morning. It's the weather changing here in Texas. You know, one moment it's sunny and bright. The next moment it's absolutely adorable rain. Guess which day it is today. Anyway, so without much further ado, I want to introduce Miss Marcia Hudson. You're in Houston, right, Marcia?
I am in Houston.
Good. Marcia is a social media branding specialist. She's been working with the University of Houston SBDC since 2015, teaching social media and digital marketing. She's also a professor of English at the Wharton County Junior College in Sugar Land. She's received education specialist degree from Walden University, attended Sam Houston State University and the University of Houston. I guess she couldn't decide which university she liked best, but that makes her very well-rounded, and we're happy to have her today. And if that's not enough, remember she's also a professional photographer, along with her husband, specializing in branding, headshots, lifestyle, and real estate photography. And with that, even though she has more things, it is also her anniversary. Please give her a big little kudos today. We want to say thank you so much for joining us anyway on this special day for you. And happy anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. Marcia Hudson.
Thank you so much. Brett always does such a wonderful job of presenting the little things about me. So I want to go ahead and get started here. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay. Share.
That's my screen. One moment, I'm going to try to give it back to you.
Okay.
There, that's you.
Okay. Okay, can you guys see this? See my screen? Okay, well, let's get started. So I am so excited today to be here. As always, I love working with the UH SBDC, and today we want to talk about how to build a profitable email list, even from ground zero. So how can you turn your subscribers into buyers? So we're going to get into it. So as always, we want to give a special thanks to the North Central Texas Small Business Development Center for bringing us these trainings and workshops to help us as entrepreneurs, business owners, to build our brand and continue to boost our business. So as always, thank you guys so much, and thank you for having me. So what if you took just one idea from this training and that one idea grew your business online? I really love giving webinars, but I like attending them also because we learn so much. And every time I attend a webinar, I have my pen, I have my paper, because I'm always ready. And I tell myself, okay, Marcia, take away one idea, at least one idea that you can go back and take to your business. But today you're going to get a lot more than one idea. So I hope that you're ready. You have your pen, your paper, and you are ready to move forward. So I will tell you this from experience, email marketing works. It really works. And just a little statistics, because I know you guys are really busy and your time is very valuable and you don't want to be doing something that's not going to be bringing in revenue for you. So email marketing works because there are billions of emails that are sent and received by users daily. Email will bring in so much for your business. Now, it has been said in research, and I do quite a bit of research, that everyone on your email list is worth at least $10. So when we send out an email, whether it's about information, announcement, or promotion or whatever, every person on your email is worth like $10, and we're going to get into that. It's a good way to distribute content to a large audience at once. Don't forget, social media is a great digital tool also for us. But we don't own social media. It can be shut down, we can be banned from it, but with your email list, you own that list. Email marketing helps you to grow your business because you stay on top of mind. We're so busy in our climate, our culture, and we're on the go. But when we get an email popped into our inbox, we stay on top of mind, and it reminds our potential clients about us and our business. It has great potential because customers get to hear from you. And like I say, unlike social media, you own your email list. Email marketing, I like to say, is a small business owner's best friend. So you definitely want to get your subscribers on board. And you definitely, if you haven't been doing email marketing in a while, you definitely want to get that back going. Send out an email, a welcome email to your people, and let them know that you are on board with email marketing. So who am I? It's like Brett said, I am Marsha Lynn Hudson, and I love helping entrepreneurs develop a strategy and an action plan to create their brand and grow their business online. I am a professor of writing at Wharton County Junior College. I just made my 20-year milestone there, and I am a social media specialist. My husband and I, yes, we do have a professional photography company, and I really enjoy everything digital, blogging, YouTubing, podcasting. And people say, well, do you actually have free time? Yes, in my free time, I love taking walks, having my coffee, and I really love learning because that's the way we grow. So be sure and visit me at marshallynnhudson.com. So what will you learn from this training today? So I hope you are ready. You have your favorite beverage, your coffee, your tea, because I have some great things to share with you today. We're going to talk about how to choose a service provider and why you need one, creating an opt-in, something that you give away to get people to give you their emails, how to create subject lines and stay and what to say in your email, because it's not that people don't like emails because we get so many, they just don't like bad emails. So we're going to talk about what to say in your email to keep people opening it. And then how to promote it after you've done all of that and you're ready to move forward. How can you promote your email, your newsletter, and get people to buy your products and services? So if you only have 5 people on your list, you can make money. And I talk about how to build your list from ground zero. So I meet people and my clients all the time. When I talk about email marketing, they're like, Marsha, I don't have anybody on my email list. I'm like, if you have 5 people, you can build your list, you can make money, and you can move forward from there. So it's okay, if you, oh, let me go back. Let me go back. It's okay, like if you say, well, how do I get started? And so many people ask me, how do I get started? So we're going to answer that question today. And I always tell people, just show up, give value, be consistent, and you will grow. And sometimes people say, well, what do you mean be consistent? How often should I send an email? Well, I like to say, if you can send one once a week, that's great. But if you're too busy for once a week, twice a month. You want to stay on top of mind of your clients. So if you just show up at least twice a month, give value, be consistent with that every month, you will grow. So why should you do list building, building your email list, building your your email marketing plan? Well, like I said, you stay on top of mind, and that is so important. I get a lot of emails, and I have a few different emails. I have an AOL, I have a Gmail to keep my things separated. But some emails I open all of the time, and I may get an email from a restaurant, and I may have been thinking, okay, what are we going to eat that day? And then the email pop up, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let's go there. Or I may be going on and about my day and thinking about things that I need, and I get an email from a store, and they may be having a sale, and I hadn't even been thinking about that. And I was like, oh, let me stop by. So you stay on top of mind. You build relationships with email and list building. You can promote your products and services. We don't want to do that too much, but you can do that, and you definitely increase your revenue with list building. So think about it. And I like to tell my students and tell my clients, think about what it is that you want to do when you start something new. Or if you've been thinking about starting something, but you just hadn't gotten around to it. So I like to ask myself, and I have my thinking time and my Q&A time for me and my business. What is keeping you from starting an email campaign? So we have to think about what is it that makes us put these things off and so we can get started. So is it A, you don't know how to get started? And sometimes that's what keeps us from doing something new that we need to do for our business. B, you feel like I have enough people on my list. So some people have a lot of people on their list, but they're not they don't they're not engaging with them, or they feel like I don't have enough people. So I see the whole spectrum of people when it comes to email. They don't know what to write. That's a big one. What do I put in the email? And we're going to talk about that today. They don't check my own I don't check my own email, so I don't think they're effective. Now I have run into a few clients who they're like, well, I don't check email, and so I don't think they're effective, but they are. Just because you may not check yours, lots of people check their emails, or you may say all of the above. So we want to kind of go around some of these questions today, help you feel comfortable about getting started with email marketing. So let's get ready for the list building plan. Grab your paper, grab your pen. If you're like me, we keep those phones next to us, turn off your distractions because you may want to take some notes, and then you want to stay to the end for some free resources. So today I have 5 action steps for getting started in our small amount of time. There are other steps, but I wanted to give you at least these 5 steps that have worked well for me for building my email list. So number one, and some of you may already be at some of these steps, but we're going to kind of mention and talk about them today. You want to choose a service provider, because I've had people say, well, why can't I just email my people from Gmail? And you could, but we're going to talk about some more benefits for choosing a service provider. Secondly, we're going to talk about how to create a winning opt-in. And that's something that you give away in exchange for people's most prized possession, which is their email. How to craft good subject lines, because our subject lines, that's what's going to make people click and open our email. And how to use storytelling and value in our content, not just selling or promoting. People love storytelling. Storytelling builds brands, and giving value, offering tips and advice from your industry. That's what keeps people opening your emails. And lastly, how to let people know about your email. So, action step number one, time for action. And I know with me, I have so many things I want to do, so many things on my to do list, and it's just so little time. But I have to tell myself, you have to prioritize what's important, and you got to get it going. So number one is choosing an email service provider. So there are many out there, but a few that I'm familiar with are Constant Contact, MailChimp, ConvertKit. You want to do your homework. Go to the internet, go to Google, and just look for different email service providers. And so these are some of the biggest ones in the game. I really like Constant Contact. I love the fact that you can reach a live person, because when I'm having issues with my email or anything, I can just reach out to them and they will even take over my computer. So I've been with them a long time. I have clients who love MailChimp. They also have good service, and you have templates you can use and things like that. So you want to pick a provider that works well for you. And lastly, it is ConvertKit. And this is another one that I really like. If I didn't use Constant Contact, I would probably use a ConvertKit because they have so many features. I love the customer service. I love, love, love live customer service. And it's just so much more that you can do beyond just email with these service providers. So, do your homework on these three. These three are pretty popular, but find a service provider that works for you. So that's the first thing you want to do, because once you find a provider, you can start putting your emails in there. You can segment your list. You can put them in different lists. And there's just so many benefits to having a provider, because you can tell who opened your email, who didn't open your email, just so many things that you learn from your service provider. And now some of them have even added ads where you can do Facebook ads through their service. It's just, and start a website or a landing page, so many benefits. So the other benefits are, like I said, you can segment lists. Let's say you are sending an email, but it doesn't go to everybody. So for me, for example, I may have a list of business owners, or I may have a list of women entrepreneurs, or a list of real estate professionals. Well, I may send an email for my real estate professionals that my other lists may not need at that time. So I would just send it to that one list. So I like that. You can schedule your emails. You can craft your email at any time of the day and schedule it. And the best time to send emails are early in the morning, because people usually wake up and check their email. So if you crafted an email like at 10 or 11 at night, you wouldn't send it that time, but you can schedule it to go the next day at 6:30 a.m. I usually schedule my emails to go out at 6:30 a.m. The provider gathers data for you. It lets you know who hadn't opened it in a year. You can clean your list. You can send emails to thousands of people at once. I love templates, and I think all of them have templates that you can just pull up and drag and drop and change the wording, things like that. So the provider is great, and you can send emails to non-openers. I like that. That's a new feature that I am a service provider for Constant Contact. But that's a new feature that Constant Contact has, and I'm sure that others do too. Let's say you send an email out on Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. to all of your subscribers, but some of them didn't open it, or maybe they missed it. Well, you can, at the time that you create your email, you can say, send this to non-openers in 3 days. So in 3 days, that same email will go to them. I really like that feature. So don't forget, also, you guys can take screenshots with your phone. You can save your cute question and answer to the end, because I love answering your questions. So don't forget to jot those questions down and save them to the end, and take your screenshots if you like. So how do you choose a service provider? And like I say, I tell people to choose what works best for you. And people will say, well, Marsha, which one is best? Is it Constant Contact, MailChimp, Convert? I say, well, which one do you like best, Lexus or Mercedes? Just choose the one that works best for you. Do a Google search, visit their website, because there's so many features that you can learn from the service provider's website. Look at the different features and decide if it's a good fit for you. So those are some ways. Now, here are templates when you are looking for a provider. I really like templates because it makes it easy for us to craft an email, and it saves us time, right? We really need to save time because we're busy, busy, busy. And so what I normally do is I pull up a template. I know what my email is going to be about, that the time that I'm going to send it. I might change the wording, I may change the picture on the template. I may change the colors. I put in my content, and that is it. You can even put in a video in your newsletter. So I love, love, love templates because they save us so much time and we get to basically customize them to the way that we want. So I tell people when they say, well, Marsha, I don't have any emails. Well, sometimes people think that they don't, but I say, if you're starting your email marketing, gather any emails that you have. Get all your emails from your other list. Maybe you have a Gmail, or maybe you have an AOL, or maybe you have MSN or whatever, but gather all your emails. And I always tell people, think of your past clients, and sometimes I do old school. I write things down on a piece of paper, write my names, write my emails, and then I may move them to type them into a spreadsheet. But family and friends can be a part of your email list. You can start from ground zero and grow. So you can decide, okay, I have a good list of 25 to 50 or maybe 100. Jot those names down, jot those emails down, go through all of your emails, go through, if you have multiple emails, go through them and find a good list of people that you may want to start with your email marketing. Make those lists and put them in your new service provider. Now, I do not recommend buying emails because it's a lot of things surrounding that. But for me, I don't recommend buying emails. But you can always go through your list, find a good list of 25, 50 people to start your email campaign, or to jump it off or revamp it or revise it. So here are some examples of lists. And people say, well, Marsha, how many lists can I have? You can have as many lists as you want. So you may have a list of new clients. You put all of those clients' names and emails. Maybe these are clients from the last month or 2 months that you've gotten emails from. You can put those names in that list. Now, past clients, these may be clients from a year or 2 years. Put those names in that list. So you can name each list and put those names under that list. Family and friends list. So you may have an email that doesn't need to go out to family and friends. So you may not click that list when you send an email, or you may have an email that only needs to go to family and friends. Opt in, and we're going to discuss that later. I have a list called opt-in, and this list, so I can know how many people downloaded my opt-in. Like, I have a lot of resources on my website at marshalynhudson.com, and when people download those, that's an opt-in. They opted in, so they go straight to my list, and it lets me know how many people downloaded my resources last month, or how many people downloaded my resources 2 months ago. So you can have different lists. Just think about what lists and names you need for your own business. I have a list called decorators. I have a list called real estate professionals. So just think about names that you can put your list in. So action step one is getting your service provider, getting your list together, getting ready to get started. So action step two, one of my favorite things to talk about, is creating a winning opt-in. Now, sometimes people call it a lead magnet or a premium or freemium, but it is something that we give away on our website or a landing page in exchange for people's emails, and you want it to be very valuable. It doesn't have to be long, it just needs to be valuable. So let's talk about creating an opt-in. So, like I say, most people put it on their websites. Some people mention it in their social media. But when people download it, and we're going to look at examples of opt-ins, you get their email, and it needs to be valuable. And so we're going to talk about, how do you create a good opt-in? Well, I have people saying, okay, Marsha, I'm ready to get an opt-in or a lead magnet, that some people say. The way to create a good one is to say to yourself, what can I create and give away that people will give their email for? For example, I was working with a client who has a beauty industry, and she sells natural products for women, for their face and things like that. And so I asked her, say, well, what can I make for my opt-in? I asked her, well, what type of problem do you see your clients having, or what do they ask you about all of the time? She goes, well, they ask me, how do I get rid of discoloration? And I said, that's a great opt-in. And so we came up with a PDF, and it talks about 5 ways to get rid of discoloration, or to help with discoloration. And she goes, people are really downloading that. I said, okay, so since you have a big audience of women and everybody's not having discoloration issues, what's another thing that people ask you all of the time? She said, they always want to know, how do I handle acne? So I said, that's your second opt-in. And that's all she needs. So she has a PDF, a download on discoloration, and one on acne. And that is how she's building her list. So I always say, what is it that people ask you all of the time? That's your great opt-in. For me, I have a lot of opt-ins because I have a lot of clients from different businesses, but I tell my clients, you only need one or maybe two. That's it, because you may create one, but that may not be something that people need, but your second one may be. For me, I created an opt-in called How to Manage Your Social Media in 30 Minutes a Day. I created a few years ago, and that is downloaded so much because I kept having people ask me, how do I get to my social media when I'm so busy? So I created that, how to manage your social media in 30 minutes a day. So think about something that your clients ask you all of the time, something that they really need. It doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be valuable. I've given my email for 10 keys to something, or a toolkit. That was just a one-page opt-in, but it was so valuable. Okay, so your opt-in, or some people call it a freebie, a premium, or lead magnet. You want to make it one quick win. Okay, you want to solve one problem with your opt-in. 7 steps to getting rid of acne. That's what we came up with my client. If I had acne, I would definitely download that. And at some point in my life, I did have acne, and so I would definitely download that. A toolkit for finding content. That is a great opt-in. For me, I love knowledge. I love learning. If I saw that and I was scrolling across an email or a website, and somebody was like, be sure and get my free toolkit on finding content for social media, I would definitely give my email for that. A video series on how to, and I included that because I have actually been downloading video series from other people who I'm in their email list. And video is huge for us right now as business owners. So I got an opt-in where there were 4 small videos on how to create Facebook ads. And they were just 4 small 5-minute videos. It was so valuable to me. So a video series, you can do 2 or 3 short little videos on how to do something from your industry, and they don't need to be long, 2 3 minutes, but it's a freebie, it's valuable, and you get people's email. So here are some opt-ins. I did a little research that people want. So people like checklists. Okay, maybe you have a checklist, and here's one on SEO. Mainly everybody wants to know about SEO, search engine optimization. How can I be found? So I thought this was a great lead magnet for this company. Download now. This one right here, Life is Messy Planners. This one was from I think it was a teacher site, and they were giving away a free planner. You can best believe it. As teachers, we love stuff like that. And I'm sure most business owners do. That was a great lead magnet, I thought, for that industry, to give a free planner. I'm sure they got hundreds of emails from that opt-in. So here's another one. Subscribe to 100 Days of Real Food. Get 5 free meal plans for free. So this is a great way to get email for people who are really interested in real food, healthy foods. I thought this was a great opt-in right here. I liked it. I even joined for it. Here's another one: for Facebook ad mistakes that are losing you money. I am sure that this opt-in worked very well for them. I know I opted in for the free e-course that teaches you how to avoid the four most common mistakes, because Facebook ads work and they are good, but sometimes I'll have people say, well, Marsha, I did a Facebook ad, but nothing happened. So I downloaded that for me and for my clients, because sometimes we can maybe be making some mistakes with our ads, and that's what's happening and why they're not working well for us. Here's another example. Learn 3 secrets to copy that connect and convert. And so basically, this is a free sample of a copywriting class. So it seems like all of these different industries are being very creative with their lead magnet. But don't forget, it solves one problem. Okay, so when you make your lead magnet, your opt-in, it solves one problem. Here's a toolkit for growing your business online. And I would think many people want to know how to grow their business online. So when they give their email and they download, they get the toolkit with all of the different tools that we need for growing our online business. 60 journal prompts. So this is a great download. I downloaded it myself because I love writing, and getting ideas and prompts. It was something that I thought would really benefit me and my client. Download your free logo inspiration ebook. So as you notice with these samples, these are freebies. These are freebies, and you're giving something away. Unlike just putting on your website, please join our mailing list. Well, people don't, more than likely, people won't just join your mailing, they want the freebie. So it used to be some years ago, we could put that on our website. I had that on my website. Join my mailing list to get ideas, but now you want to add an opt-in to get emails because people are used to it, it's what they want. So here's a cheat sheet. This is another great type of opt-in. Like I say, it doesn't need to be long. It just needs to be valuable. People need to say, wow, if this was free, I can't wait to see what's behind the paid door. So once you start giving your opt-in and you building your list and you're getting people in, and then you start emailing people, then you can start promoting your services, your products, and letting them know about you. But the first thing you want to do is give them some value for free and get them in. 13 ways to increase your conversion rate. So you can be creative with an opt-in or lead magnet because you just, like I say, you want it to be valuable. So when I'm working with my clients and they're like, okay, I want to create one, I tell them it shouldn't take you longer than 48 hours to create an opt-in, because sometimes we can get so busy with life, and I know I can, and things just get away from us. And I always tell myself, after leaving a training or a webinar or a YouTube video and learning something, I give myself the next 2 days because it will just get away from me. So I know that you can create an opt-in in 48 hours. You want to think of 3 top questions that people ask you, like I talked about, and one of those can be your opt-in. And people ask me all of the time how to grow my following on social media. So I made that an opt-in. You don't need but 1 or 2 good opt-ins or lead magnets. And like I keep saying, it really doesn't need to be long. And I think that's what keeps people from making it. They're like, oh, I've been working on my opt-in for a month. No, it should take you only 2 days because it doesn't need to be long. So you can create an opt-in with one of my favorite tools, Canva. And I use Canva, I think, every day. Canva.com. There's a free version and a paid version. I have a paid version. I think Canva is great for everything. For you can create your lead magnet, and off the subject, you can create graphics for your social media. You can create posts. It's wonderful. So be sure and check out canva.com. So I made this lead magnet, 37 storytelling engagement posts for your social media. I made this in Canva in, like, I don't know, 45 minutes where I had gathered some engagement posts. I had gathered some information on how to write storytelling posts. I typed it up in Word. I went to Canva. I created this document. I turned it to a PDF, saved it to my computer, and uploaded it to my website. It's just that simple. Okay, so here's an activity for you guys. If you want to do an activity with me, I'm a teacher and I like activities. Write down 3 ideas for an opt-in for your business. Maybe at the end, some of you can share with me. I love that. Share with me if you wrote an opt-in. So think about, what is it that your clients ask you all the time? So you might think, oh, I could do a toolkit for an opt-in, or I could do a checklist, or I could do a one-page PDF, or I could do 5 ways to do something, or how to, something from your industry, something that people are going to say, wow, this was wonderful. I learned so much from this, and it was free. So that's how you want to think about your opt-in. You want your opt-in to help people. It's like the one that we created, 7 ways to get rid of acne. You want it to help your clients, your ideal client. It's like before we started, I was talking to a young lady. She has a wedding planning business, and of course, we're in the wedding industry. Also, a great opt-in would be how to plan your wedding on a budget, or how to pick the perfect venue. I mean, every bride would download that, you know what I'm saying? So just be creative and think of some things that people ask you that would create a great opt-in. All right, so action step number 3, creating subject lines that people will open. They need to be short and catchy. So number 1, you thought about your service provider. You did some research on your service provider. You picked a service provider. You signed up for one. Then number 2, you thought about an opt-in that you want to create, a PDF or a checklist, and maybe you created that opt-in. And or if you're thinking, well, I can't really create, Marcia, so I can't even use Canva. That's okay. Use Fiverr. I use Fiverr quite a bit, and that's a online site with so many entrepreneurs. And if you haven't heard of Fiverr, it's Fiverr. You can Google it and you can find someone to make you an opt-in, probably for $20. So if you don't want to use Canva and create it yourself, check out Fiverr. And so, which leads us to action step 3. So now you're ready to craft those subject lines, because we want people to open them. People get so many emails, but what's going to make them click on the email from you? It's your subject line. So here are some things that I did some research on, and I see this worked well for me for subject line. Believe it or not, one word works for a subject line, hello. And it creates interest. And so people will click. You can ask a question. What is holding you back? That is something that people connect with, because oftentimes we have so many dreams and so many goals, but things are holding us back. So that would make me click. Avoid using words that trigger spam, because we know that, email can go to spam, and Gmail has that little thing where you have primary promotions. I'm not too crazy about that, but we wanted to avoid going to spam. So avoid using words like gift or save or deal or offer in your subject line. Okay, so avoid that. You can create a sense of urgency for a subject line: today only, or before time runs out. But I get a lot of ideas from how to craft the subject line, because the subject line is so important, from other emails. Sometimes when I'm thinking of, okay, I need to create an email, I'll just go to my email and look at some of the subject lines from the people who sent me emails, and look at some of the ones that caught my attention and that I actually opened. So that's a great activity. Go check out some emails from the ones that you've gotten and look at their subject lines and see which ones you may think, wow, that's a great subject line. And you don't have to copy it, but you can model it and get an idea from the subject line. All right, so creating subject lines that people will open. So let's continue with that. You can make a statement for your subject line. You can do lists or numbers: 8 ways to do this, 8 amazing tips. Your subject line And if I can just say what causes me to open the emails from the many, many emails that I get, it's the subject line. And especially if it's something I want to learn, or I think I need to know, or something that could help my clients, or something that's new. So lists and numbers, that's good for a subject line. Making a statement, curiosity. I used to do this, and people are curious, what is it you used to do? Maybe with your business or whatever. So a subject line that creates curiosity is good. And like I say, I always go through my emails and the ones that I have and look to see which ones caught my eye. And I just write those ideas down, because if you've been following me and for any amount of time doing these webinars, which I've been doing them for a few months here, you hear me talk about a pre-planning day, and that is so important. A pre-planning day is just a day that I get away from the business, working on the business, and get away for an hour or two, maybe at a coffee house, get my pen and paper, and it's my idea time for everything, for my social media, for my posts, for subject line email, my video, podcast. It is a great thing that we can have. It's a pre-planning day, and usually I have one on a Saturday or a Sunday evening, and I just plan what I'm going to do that's upcoming, versus waking up on Monday and thinking, okay, I have to do all of this. The pre-planning day is a great day to go through emails and get ideas for subject line. So this is something I had to do, and I posted about it. And I was like, this Saturday, I'm going to be cleaning out my email. I have 10,000 emails in my AOL, and I posted it, and I had so many people respond like, I need to do that too. And I posted that a few months ago. And I thought I need to clean up my email list. And so when you do this, and I call Constant Contact, and I'm like, look, I need to clean up my email list. Anybody who hadn't opened my email in a year, let's get rid of them. And they took over my computer, cleaned it up, got rid of the ones who hadn't opened a while. And I lost a few, but I was okay with that, because I wanted to move forward with the people who are engaging with me. And I was also informed by them that you increase your open rate when you remove subscribers who never open your email. That was something new that I learned from my service provider. And so I'm sure your provider will let you know. So it may be a good idea to go through, if you're getting started with your, or revamping or revising, getting ready for your email marketing campaign, to go and clean up your email list. All right, so 3 parts to a 30-minute newsletter that you can actually create. Because I have people saying, well, okay, Marcia, you're a writer. I'm not a writer. So what do I put? What can I say in the newsletter? So I thought about that question, and I really listen and write down questions that my clients ask me, because that's really what we want to do. To service our customers, we have to know what they want and what their needs are. I may think, well, this is a great idea for a post or a newsletter, but I need to think this is a great idea that's going to help my potential client or my reader. So I came up with crafting a newsletter, even if you're not a writer, in 30 minutes. So you open with a short story or something interesting. And what I do is a 3-part newsletter. It works well. What I might do is, when I sit down to write about an email, I'm going to think of a short 2 or 3 sentence opening, and it's storytelling. I may say something like, it's been so hard being stuck in during this pandemic, and sometimes I lose motivation. What about you? So, in other words, the opener, it's what I like. It connects to my reader, so they can keep reading. When something connects with a person, you hold on to them a little while. So an opening like that, because people feel that way too. Oh my gosh, I've been stuck in. And so that's a good opener. So when you think about a short opener, think about something that in your sentence or two, a person can be shaking their head saying, I feel like that too. That's a great opener, and it keeps them reading. So then in the middle of this 3-part newsletter, you want to put some tips that would help answer a question or solve a problem or help with a struggle. So in an email, which I've already done in my pre-planning time, I may put 5 ways to stay motivated with your business during the summer, which is one of my themes that I work on in the summer, because we travel, we have fun, we're more relaxed. But I like to tell people stay on top of your business in the summer. So I may have something like that: 5 ways to stay motivated with your business during the summer. And then I write out those 5 ways. So at the beginning of my email, I may have had 1 or 2 sentences that grab the people that they could connect with. It could be about life or something that's going on in the world or something that's going on with you and your business. And they're like, I feel that too. That's a good opener. And then in the middle, answer a question or solve a problem or help with a struggle with tips or advice or something like that. Even a video you can put in there. And then at the end of my newsletter, I always end with a call to action. What do you want them to do? Now, sometimes you may want to give an announcement. So at the end of your email, you may give an announcement about something that's going on in your business. You may want them to go to your YouTube channel and see a new video. So then you might say, be sure and check out our YouTube channel. Or you may want to build your Instagram following. So at the end of your email, you may say, be sure and check out, follow us on Instagram. So your call to action is where you can send them and have them do what you want them to do. Maybe you created a new product or you wrote a book, but the biggest thing about this is you opened with something that people can relate to instead of just selling right off the bat, because that doesn't always work. So you want to connect with people. You want people to say, yes, I get that, or, oh, yes, I need that. And then in the middle, you want to give them a little meat, a few tips. And then at the end, that's when you send them where you want them to go. This is a great um, a blueprint for a newsletter, and it shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. And it should keep people opening your email. So every time you send an email, they can't wait to open it because they know you're going to say something that they can connect with. They know in the middle you're going to give some value. It could even be a video. And they know that you're going to introduce them to something that you're doing. Sometimes in an email, I'll even put a PDF in it and have a free giveaway. I gave like a planner, a 3-page planner. And I put it in the email and I said, be sure and download the planner to help you build your brand for your business. So just be creative, and it shouldn't take a long time. So anybody can do that. Even if you're not a writer, you can craft an email, especially with those templates we talked about, in 30 minutes. So action step 4, and we're making it to the end. So I hope you have those Q&A, your questions ready for when we get to the end. Action step 4, what to say in the email. So here's an example of what I just talked about. Start your email with 2 or 3 sentences that people can relate to. For example, as a business owner, I struggle with how to move forward at times, but I know that consistency is the key to success. I actually took these sentences from an email that I wrote because I always think about, how can I sound normal and human and just like a regular person, all the things that I am in my email. And that's something that people can say, oh, wow, I feel like that too. That happens with her. Sometimes people think everything is wonderful with us, but we're regular too. We're human too. So I say share that with people. And then with this opener right here, I might have in the meat, the middle, I talk about ways to stay consistent or ways to find success. And it may be 2 or 3 or 4. What am I doing? I'm giving value, and I want people to look forward to my emails that's coming out twice a month, or even if you do once a month. And then at the end, you give your call to action. So that's an example of what I was talking about for the beginning. So here's an example, and you can feel free to take screenshot. Here's an example of the middle of the email for what I was talking about, where you give your meat. You can give some value, or you can give some tips. You can even insert a motivational quote and discuss it, why you like that motivational quote. anything that people can relate to that they're going through with their business or their lives or with plans and goals. You can share a testimonial of a client in your email. And let's say whatever industry you're in, maybe a client sent you a great testimonial. Share that in the middle of your email. You can give some helpful advice, something that's going to help in a pain point. Sometimes we can be trying to figure out something and we can't figure it out, and then we open an email and you've sent the solution. And so you can send some helpful advice, you can give an announcement, and you can even teach something in the middle of your email. This is what keeps people opening your emails. Like I said, I get a lot of emails, a lot, and some of them I open all of the time. Others I put to the side, or I say I'm going to get to it, and some I just delete because I know they're just going to try to sell me something. But I'm not going to delete emails while I know people are sending value to me. And when you do this, people are more open to purchase from you. I can't tell you how many emails that I gave them my email because I downloaded their opt-in, and that was like an introduction to that company. And then they kept sending me emails with value, with social media and how to do video. And then when they offered a course, I purchased it. So it opens the door for people to purchase from you, to make purchasing a little easier when you introduce yourself, give value rather than just right away off the bat selling. And here's an example of the end of the email. So we talked about the three parts: the beginning, the middle, and the end. And so with your call to action, your CTA, what do you want people to do? Where do you want them to go? You can send them, you can build your social list. You can send them to your website, okay? Your other social sites. If you have a blog or a podcast, you can send them there with a link. If you have a store, an online store, or an offer or a product that you're developing, your opt-in, you can talk about that at the end of the your call to action. So you can even introduce your opt-in, your new opt-in that we talked about making within 48 hours. So this is pretty much all you need to build an email list from ground zero. I know because I'm speaking from experience. And the whole year of 2020 during the pandemic, when I was building my email list, I was like, well, it's a great time to do it. I followed these steps myself and they really work well. And I'm sure maybe some of you on here, you may head to my website, get some of our great downloads, and you kind of see what I mean. But don't forget, when someone gives you their email, you want to make sure when you start emailing them, it's it was worth them giving it, because it's hard for people like, oh, I don't want to get my email, it's just another email coming. You want to make sure that once they start getting your emails or they opt in, your emails you want them to say, I'm glad I gave them my email, not, oh my God, let me unsubscribe. You don't want that. So here's another activity that you can do. Compose a three-part email. And when you write an email, write like you're talking to one person, your ideal client. That's another thing I do. My main client is a woman business owner. Now, I know some of you men are on here. I love my business men owners. I love my men owners, but that's my main client who normally hire me. Of course, men hire me too, and I love that. But my main client is a woman, and she's normally 35 plus, and she's a business owner, and she's ready to really take her business to a new level. When I sit down and write an email, I act like I'm writing to that one lady. She may be in her 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I act like I'm writing to her. And I think about the things that she may be going through in her business and her life. And I start my email off like that because I want her to be like, yes, I get that. You get me. Yes, I need that. And so, like I say, part one can be a 2 or 3 line opener, something that people can relate to. Just open with your thoughts. And sometimes I'm like, I open with my own thoughts of struggling with motivation or what to come up with my content or keeping up with all of my sites. People like the fact that you're showing your human side. And then in the part two, you can give value from your industry, maybe write down 2 or 3 things that you can do. And then and you do a call to action. It's a great activity to just jot down a 3-part email, just a little information or a little outline that you could probably put together and send out in maybe 2, 3 days or the following week or whatever. But my biggest thing is get started, because it really gets away from us. And email marketing is our friend. And I really love social media, but I will tell you, email is even better. So, what are the best days and times to send an email? So, according to research and what has worked well for me, I found that Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are the best days to send it, 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. because people wake up and check their emails. And sometimes your email may just get lost in the shuffle. And I find it to be true about me. I wake up, I check my email. I mean, it's true about me. I have people sending me emails 6 a.m. And by the time I wake up and look at it, they're in my box. And it just works. It works well. And you may kind of play around with it and see what works best for you. But what I've really found is, even though I send my emails around 6:30 a.m., I really like that non-opener feature. I may send an email on a Tuesday, and I'll tell my constant contacts, send this in 3 days to the non-openers. So what happens is, to the people who didn't open it or missed it, it will pop back up in their inbox. And then I can go and check my insights and see who were the non-openers that opened it. And it's amazing how I just think sometimes people may have missed it, and I get some non-openers to open it. It won't go back to the people who opened it, so you don't want to bug them. It will only go to the non-openers. So I really like that. So these are some great days, but you may find that Fridays work better for you, or maybe Mondays, but these are the days that worked well for me for when I send my emails. And the way I know they work well is I check my insights. And your provider will send your insights in a few days. It will say, this was your open rate. You had 16% open rate, which is really a good open rate. These are the people who opened, these are the people who didn't open. So those insights will help you to know if that time is working well for you. So our last step is, okay, so now you've decided, I am ready, Marsha. I got my service provider. I'm going to make my opt-in. I know what to write. I am ready. I am ready. And so action step 5, now it's time to promote it. And let's say you were doing newsletters, but you stopped. That's okay. Or you used to do them, and maybe you feel, well, I didn't write the right stuff in there. That's okay. Or you've been talking about, I need to get busy. All of that's okay. I'm the type of person that thinks I don't dwell on the past or the negative. I'm like, just move forward. Today can be the day. This week can be the week to just say, I'm going to get my email on track. I'm going to get my names and get those together. And I'm going to start maybe next week or whatever. I don't want to go too long, but I want to revise, revamp, and start my newsletter campaign, whether it's twice a month or once a month. But you are going to be so happy that you started, because email will bring revenue. Everybody on your email list is worth $10. If you wrote a book or an ebook and you started letting people know in your email, what if you have a good list of 100 people, 1,000 people, and people headed over to your Amazon and bought your ebook? It is so worth it. So how can we promote it now that we are ready to get going? Social media, okay? Social media is a great tool for building your brand, boosting your business, and letting people know about your email, especially because now your emails are great. They offer value, they have meat. People can't wait to open them. So you can talk about your email on your Facebook business page, or your Instagram, or your LinkedIn, or Twitter. So email is a great place to let people know about your newsletter. And you can tell them, head over to my website and get my free download, because we want to tell people why they should go. And they love to get something free, especially if you're going to be offering value. So you can put your opt-in on your website, and that way you can let people know, because once they opt in, now they're going to get your newsletter. So that's another way to promote your newsletter. And I talked about a landing page because some people say, well, Marsha, I don't have a website. Well, that's okay. You can create a landing page with your email provider or Wix or something, where it's just one page that you created, where when people go down the page, it tells, your company name. It's just one landing page. When people type in your URL, they land on this one page. And then it may go into your about, it may go into your services. It's just one page. I tell people that in case you haven't gotten around to a website, but I really suggest a website. But in the meantime, and then as they go down, you may have your opt-in on there where they click it and download it. So you can promote your newsletter through your opt-in. So other digital tools to promote your newsletter is through your blog. If you have a blog, it is a great place to promote, especially on Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I think I should do a webinar on Pinterest, but I'll do a summer webinar on Pinterest. Your podcasts are becoming increasingly popular. I really like them. When I walk in, I'm listening to a podcast. Sometimes when I'm on the treadmill, I'm listening to a podcast. I really like them because I love learning. That's the first thing. And I may be listening to a social media podcast or a healthy eating podcast or something. So that's a great time. Your podcast is like your radio show. And I've started podcasting myself. And you can do one a month. It's like a radio show. And because it's, people listen to it, you can talk about your newsletter. Like I say, creating a landing page through your service provider or Wix, and promote your newsletter. YouTube videos, if you're doing YouTube videos, you can definitely promote your newsletter. Maybe short form videos that you make with your phone. And I teach a lot about adding video with your phone. I call them snackable video. Adding video with your phone to your social media. So let's say once a week you do a short video, like a Wednesday or whatever, and you pick up your phone and you make a short 2 to 3 minute video, always offer value. And then at the end, you can tell people, be sure and go to our website or our landing page, check out our newsletter. And then you upload that video to your Facebook or your Instagram, your LinkedIn. So short form or snackable videos are great. That you don't have to do editing. You don't have to go through YouTube. Just pick up your phone, make a 2 minute video, and upload it to your sites, and you can promote your newsletter going live on Facebook. And I know people are like, oh my gosh, Marsha, I do not like being on camera. I do not want to go live. But I will tell you, going live on Facebook, and that's free, is great for not only promoting your newsletter, but building your brand. And people say, well, how long should I be on there? I mean, you go to Facebook, you click that button that says live. You can do it on your phone or your computer. Do a few minutes. You can do a Q&A. It's so much you can do. I need to get better about live on Facebook. That's one of my goals for the summer, and because it works well. You can do Zoom meetings or trainings. You can let your people know through your social media or through even your regular email right now, that you're going to have a Zoom meeting or a Zoom training. Maybe it's going to be on a Saturday from 12 to 12:30, and you want to send people to your Zoom meeting, and it could be a Q&A meeting about your industry, your service, the value that you offer, and you can mention about your newsletter. There are so many ways to put that newsletter out there, promote your newsletter. And believe me, you are going to grow that list. So if you're at ground zero, you are going to be amazed at how month after month you're going to grow your newsletter. And I tell people sometimes, my clients were like, oh, I only had one person to do this or two people to do that. And that's wonderful. Celebrate the small wins. You don't need 1,000 people at once to get on to your blog or your podcast. I mean, you don't need to, and you look and you say, oh, these people have 10,000 followers on Instagram and I only have 60. So what if the 10,000 are not even engaging with them? Don't let the numbers bother you. Celebrate the small wins. I told myself that. Celebrate the small wins. If one new person got on your email list, that's a small, great win. If 5 new people got on it in a month, celebrate the small wins. And I fall into that trap myself, not just with email marketing, social media, with everything. Celebrate the small wins, because small wins can become big wins. So what do you have to offer? You can create a low cost offer and add to your newsletter. You can, maybe you have an offering and you want to maybe bring in a little revenue, and maybe you say, okay, well, I don't really have a freebie, or my freebie didn't work. Well, then put together an ebook. Maybe a small 3, 4, 5 page ebook from your industry, and maybe sell it at low cost, maybe for $2.99. I buy a lot of ebooks on Amazon that are a Kindle that they're $2.99. Maybe a consultation. You can offer a consultation at a low cost. Maybe your regular fee is something that's a little higher, but you can offer maybe a 20-minute consultation for a lower cost. Okay, a video series. I purchased video series for $37. And that was a lead magnet for them. And when I downloaded the video series, and I've been getting a lot of them on Facebook ads because they work, it was a 10 video series for $37 on how to do Facebook ad. It was worth it. It was a low cost offer. Rarely, when people are a cold audience, those are people who don't really know you, will they spend a lot of money. You got to warm them up through sending them value, sending them information, and then maybe introducing a higher cost offer. So low cost offers can be anything from $7. I've purchased things from $7 to $47. So you want to keep a low cost offer under $50. You can make a guide and offer a guide like for $7 for something from your industry. Virtual training, you can do a virtual training, and even offer any other kind of product that you would feel would be valuable, but offer it as a low cost offer between $7 and $47. Keep it under 50, because don't forget, this is a cold audience. And rarely will a cold audience, people don't really know you, will spend a lot of money right off the bat. So turn subscribers into customers. So now you got those subscribers on your list, right? And you've been emailing them. You want to nurture them and stay in touch by maybe sending at least 2 emails a month. You want to offer, even in your email now, you can offer low cost offers and products. All right. Just don't forget, you don't want to start off selling. Okay. You don't want to start your email just selling. That's not something you want to do. You want to offer value first. Selling comes after that. Let them know about your specials at the right time. Okay, because what happens is we build that know, like, and trust factor. And I know you've heard of that know, like, and trust factor. And people get to know us, and because now you are showing up, people get to like us because of the content that you're sending value, and people get to trust us because you're consistent. That's when people buy. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And I'm sure you can agree with me. Let them know how easy it is to do business with you. Now you've turned subscribers into customers. Everybody on your email list is worth at least $10. Okay. So send 2 emails a month. They don't have to be long, just valuable, be conversational. You don't want to have too many pictures or links because it goes to spam, and you want to focus on one thing. Your newsletter should have one purpose. So if you're sending out a newsletter and it's 1 week or whatever, maybe the purpose is, for me, it could be staying focused with your business for the summer, because I'm really on that theme right now. So you want to focus your newsletter on one purpose. So as a recap, as we wrap up. So action step 1, get your service provider, do your Google homework, choose one that works well for you. Action step 2, think about creating your opt-in. You should do that within 48 hours. You don't want that to get away from you, either through Canva or Fiverr. You can hire someone to do it for you. Shouldn't be more than $20. Action step 3, you want to work on your good subject lines, okay? Action step 4, then your content, your 3-part content that we talked about. And then you want to promote your email. So here's a bonus. You want to be consistent and nurture your subscribers. This will really grow your email from ground zero. All you have to do is decide. And so if you're on the training today, I hope you got some great information. I hope you got some tips, and I hope you at least walked away with one piece of inspiration to say, this is something I need to do. Maybe you've done some of the other steps. Maybe you need to do step 3 or step 2 or step 4. All you have to do is decide. And I really like this saying. I like sayings anyway. And I surround myself around them because I need to be reminded myself that all I need to do, if I have a goal or I have a dream or an action, and I know it's going to be great for my business, and I know this and we know that, I just need to decide. And I also need to decide to prioritize. Some things I need to put aside. Some things I need to kind of let go because sometimes I'm doing too much. But some things need to start right now. And email marketing is a small business owner's best friend. So all you need to do is decide. So I'm so glad you guys stayed with me. In a few minutes, we're going to be ready for Q&A. And you can always connect with me everywhere. You can take a screenshot. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on everywhere. And you can always find so many free downloads, opt-ins on my site, Marsha Lynn Hudson, on blogging, on podcasting, on email, on content creation. Everything is there to help you build and brand and grow your business online. Of course, you can drop me an email, Marsha Hudson Training, and I'm always available for one-on-one training. Also, I do work with one-on-one business owners. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I talked about free resource. So of course, after the Q&A, you can head over to my site, get my email marketing blueprint, my free strategy workbook. If you're thinking, I need a strategy, well, then there's a free strategy workbook for you there at marshalynnhudson.com. So thanks so much, guys. And we are ready for Q&A.
Thank you so much, Marsha. And I'm going to leave your slide up so everybody can see marshalynnhudson.com
Okay.
for going there after this if you want. We so thank you for all of the knowledge that you always give us. And I, for one, just want to say it definitely works, those free downloads. I've already downloaded so many, I haven't even seen them all yet, but because it just works, so that's how I ended up getting on everybody's mailing list. Thank you so much for that. Let's go through a couple of questions. I think you answered this one probably, but I'd like to just sort of recap it if you don't mind. You mentioned about a landing page and it being a separate page, or is it created after they sign up for the newsletter? Is it better to just send them an email or to have that landing page? Do you have a preference, or can you just sort of talk
Oh,
about that
that's
a little
that's a
bit?
great question. I think it's just your. Sometimes I'll send an email, and sometimes I'll send a landing page. But you can also do a landing page within an email. For instance, now there are several things with a landing page because I've been meeting a lot of business owners who they don't have a website yet. And so the way you want to grow your email list is you need either a website or you need something for people to land on to be able to get that opt in. So if you have a website, that's great. You just add your opt in to your website. Then you don't need a landing page because your website has several landing pages. If they click about, that's a landing page. Services, that's a landing page. So if you have a website, you don't need a landing page, but you can also create individual landing pages for different things. So let's say you have a website and you have a landing page because you've created an ebook. So if you do your email, you can in your email, you can just bypass sending them to your website and just send them to that landing page for that particular email. Or you can send them to your website and make sure they see that landing page on there. So sometimes I'll just send people to my website, or I will have them go there and they may download my opt-in. But sometimes I will just send a landing page when I want people to focus on one particular thing. Because when they go to our website, it's so many things to focus on. So let's say I create an email and I want them to focus on, let's say I'm having a summer social media program and I only want them to focus on that and sign up. So in my email, I may just send them to the landing page because it focuses on one thing. Now, for people with no website, your landing page will have everything on it, whereas you just create that one landing page. So as to not confuse people, you have your website, you can put your opt-in. You have a landing page, you can put an opt-in. You have your website and a landing page, you can put them together, or you can send people to one or the other. So it just depends on what you want to do with that email. If I answered that.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, you just created a question from me. I'm curious. I always thought that a landing page was part of your website. It was just a simple page on it that you could redirect people directly to. But am I misunderstanding that? That a landing page you can do actually separately?
Oh yes, that's great,
Where's your
Brady.
URL, I guess, is what I'm.
Yeah, you can actually do a landing page separately. I have so many separate ones. Like for instance, I build my website with WordPress because I'm a website developer. So I build one of my websites with WordPress. So let's say you go to marshallandhudson.com. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm having a summer program. So I'll go to the back end of my website and go to my WordPress and create a page and just name it. I may name it summer program. And then I develop that one page and it has its own URL. It may be Marshall and Hudson / summer program. So I can highlight that URL, copy and paste it, and put it anywhere in my email, whatever. When people click it, they only go to that landing page. Now, that landing page lives on my website. I can hide it. So when people go to my website, they don't particularly see it. I can show it. So yes, a landing page can be, you can do separate landing pages, and I do them all the time, and lots of people do them. Like if somebody's doing something for Facebook ad, they may have created a landing page that sends you to their product, or
Okay.
they may, so you can create lots of different landing pages. They have their own URL. It's almost like a one-page website, but you can create different ones separately from your website, and they are normally focused on one thing. Let's say you have something come let's say you're doing a Zoom training in the summer and you're having a Q&A about your business. You can create one landing page about that Zoom training, what's going to be in that training, what time that training is, and at the bottom they can click to join. So yes, you can make separate landing pages, and I just make them and hide them on my website. But if you don't have a website, you just make them from Shopify or Wix or whatever.
Well, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that for me, especially. Yeah. One more question. Does let's see. Does what we title our opt-in affect our SEOs? For search engine optimization, as well. Can we research the best title for it? Such
That's
as when you're titling it just to try to keep that search engine finding you first. Can we research how to use the words, or do you have any suggestions about words, or does it even affect it?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, everything we put out there online affects being found with our SEO. So that's a great point. Your opt-in should have keywords that people are looking for, that people can find, because it does help. Google loves content, and Google loves fresh content. So when you create an opt-in and you put those keywords, like if I put in my social media strategy or business plan in my keywords or content marketing, it does make a difference, because when people are searching, don't forget, when we search, we go to Google and put in words and Google pulls them up. And the same for Pinterest. Pinterest is a search engine. Okay. So when we go to Pinterest and put in words, and if your words are words that people are looking for and using, then you have the opportunity to be found, especially on Pinterest. People go to Pinterest looking for stuff just like Google. So if I'm looking for content creation, what to put on social media, and let's say I type those words into Pinterest, or I type those words into Google, then it's going to pull up all of this content that where those words are in there. Your content may come up. So it's very important to put words in your opt-in that people are looking for to help with your SEO. Yes, it does help. It's like the one that we created on 7 ways to handle acne. Well, we wanted to put the word acne in that opt-in. So if people are having acne issues and they type that in, they're more apt to find your opt-in,
Right.
especially on Pinterest.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. And we thank you for the questions out there. That was great. I think we got most of those questions, but I do want to say two things real quick. Thank you so much again, Marsha. We really appreciate having you and all your advice and infinite wisdom in this area all the time. We do want to wish you and your husband a very happy anniversary.
Thank you so much.
And with that said, I would like to tell everybody that there is a survey right after this that will be sent to your emails for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Take 2 minutes, please, to fill it out and let us know how we're doing. And it's an opportunity for you to ask for other types of programming that you may want to help your small business out there. And with that said, I would also like to share with you this our list of upcoming, oops, upcoming, there, hopefully you can see that. See, yes, do you see a list of upcoming things coming up on March 19th? Our Shuttered Venue Operations Grant with Rebecca Schultz will be here. On the 20th, the Success Mindset That Will Grow Your Business with Jamie. And on May 20th, Presentation Tips for Being Effective and Calm by Lorna Kibbe. I need that one. And
Me too.
May 26th, competition with Mark Wilson, who's also going to get there. But the important thing here is that you go to the SBDC website for more information, as we do have a list that's always changing, and ever more classes are being invented all the time, and webinars. And not just that, but you can go for our website to get many different types of training, and of course talk to an advisor if you need to help your small business. We'd also like to thank some of the people that fund this program, including the Small Business Administration, the state of Texas, North Texas SBDC Regional Office, North Central Texas College, and we want to thank Marsha Hudson one more time for coming to join us today. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you next time. This will conclude our webinar for today.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Everybody have a great week.